Hey you guys, it's your girl Internet, and today we coming at you with the video, and it's called Armed Migrant Gangs Tries to Take Over New York City. Ever since like this Trump stuff started and stuff like that, like it's really been really hard with like migrants and stuff. But it makes things even worse when some of the others try to come over and they try to like make a bad name for all the rest of them. And I understand some of them try to leave from their country just to get away from like horrendous situations, but the other ones will give everybody a bad name. You know how it say like one bad apple spoiled a whole bunch. So yeah, this is like what's going on now. So let's take a look at this, but don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, turn your notifications on so you can see me, and let's get into this video.
A number of people have gathered in an anti-Trump kind of sentiment. Our Sarah Ganem is there.
He was arrested back in November for allegedly stabbing his father.
Make no mistake, it is this city's sanctuary policies that are the sole reason this criminal was allowed to roam the streets freely.
And have these small number of migrants and asylum seekers that have identified that they're going to be dangerous, hide under the law.
Gangs made up of undocumented immigrants are reportedly increasing in numbers in New York City. Law enforcement officials have expressed concern about the growing presence of these groups and the potential for violence and crime. While the motivations and activities of these gangs remain largely unknown, the possibility of their involvement in organized crime is causing alarm.
He's focused on crime and public safety and the city's ability to collaborate with ICE to address those issues. But speaking with the city council,
New York Mayor Eric Adams is prepared to overturn long-standing sanctuary city policies that have prohibited local law enforcement from working with federal immigration authorities. New York City's laws are designed to protect undocumented immigrants from being detained or deported by federal agencies. They limit how local agencies can participate in these efforts to promote together and promote public safety. The mayor announced that New York City law enforcement would collaborate with federal immigration authorities to remove migrants believed to have committed crimes or who have not yet completed the due process. But the move to overturn sanctuary...
Okay, you can be arrested and stuff like that for things that you really didn't do. You could be arrested for like misdemeanors. So even if it's small crimes, is it gonna still be like the same? So I guess they say crime is crime.
Laws came to a halt. The problem in the city keeps getting worse as New York City runs out of room to house the incoming migrants, thereby resulting in the building of temporary housing. But his idea was not fully received because the location of the temporary housing is at a bad location. Some migrants finally decided to take advantage of the system and exploit it.
we turn our attention now to the dozens of migrants found living in the basement of a furniture store in Queens.
The store owner told us he allowed 74 men to live in the basement because he wanted to help them.
Inspectors were called to a two-story commercial building in the Bronx to look into an illegal conversion. Upon arrival, they discovered that the store had been converted into sleeping quarters, with 45 beds crammed into the first floor and cellar in violation of regulations. Sar, the owner of the stores, was emotional as he expressed his desire to assist other Africans who were seeking help after their 30-day shelter stay ended, because the city had not provided further assistance. He charges over 70 men $300 each month to stay in his crowded makeshift shelter located on the first floor and basement of a furniture store in South Richmond Hill. The 30-day shelter policy was put in place to limit shelter stay by immigrants. After the 30-day shelter policy, you are on your own, and the government doesn't care about what happens to you.
They don't.
You are expected to reapply for shelter, and it takes up to 150 days to process. This leaves one stranded with no way to go and no job. Guess what happens next? Some of them turn to crime.
But was still held due to an arrest warrant in Queens. Police are still looking for the ringleader, 30-year-old Victor Parra from Venezuela. Investigators say Parra would send out messages via WhatsApp, telling the group what to steal.
Victor Parra, a 30-year-old man who arrived in New York from Venezuela, is believed to be the ringleader of a group of thieves who used mopeds to steal phones and wallets. Parra sends out messages on WhatsApp to recruit his accomplices, specifying the phone models he needs, and his major targets are new immigrant arrivals. The criminals target women who are walking alone, approaching them from behind to quickly steal their phones or handbags before running away. A scooter thief can make $100, while a phone snatcher can earn anywhere from $300 to $600. The stolen phones are taken to Parra's apartment, where a tech expert hacks into them to access the victim's financial and banking apps. These apps are then used to make fraudulent purchases in the United States and Central America. The stolen phones are then sent to Colombia to be wiped. During a search of Parra's home, authorities discovered 22 stolen phones and identification belonging to the victims. 5 individuals have been arrested by investigators. It becomes more scary as it is believed that the people involved in these crimes belong to a very deadly Venezuelan gang called Tren de Aragua. Tren de Aragua gang is involved in a range of criminal activities such as extortion, kidnapping, robbery, contract killings, drug and human trafficking.
See, this is like I was saying, like the Africans, they was just trying to, like, even though they were like housing, it was like a bunch of them. But here you got people like stealing and stuff like that. At least the Africans that was over there, they wasn't even stealing. They just needed somewhere to stay. So they can try to find a job, I guess, hopefully. That what it was allegedly trying to say. But then you got these people just coming over here trying to steal and stuff like that. And that's what makes people kind of scared of them, because you don't know who gonna, try to take advantage of you. So you have to be cautious at all times, anytime you go places, because, you don't never know which way they gonna go. Do they really need your help, or they finna try to take your phone or anything, your belongings?
And smuggling.
As the New York Police Department has released body camera footage of the attack on 2 officers by a group of migrants in Times Square.
On the evening of January 27th, around 8:30 p.m., a surveillance camera captured a group of men and 2 police officers having what appeared to be a routine and peaceful interaction. However, things took a turn for the worse when the officers tried to apprehend one of the men. Suddenly, the encounter became violent, starting with a forceful kick to one of the officers' heads. Out of nowhere, the situation escalated rapidly. The group of men began attacking the officers, who were already on the ground, repeatedly punching and kicking them. Thankfully, the officers sustained only minor injuries and received immediate medical attention at the scene. 2 days later, authorities managed to apprehend 5 out of the 7 suspects involved in the incident, and they were released without bail.
Stoking the outrage, 5 of them, all migrants here illegally, were released without bail.
How then will New York be safe? Henry Brito, who is known as the instigator of the fight, was granted bail of $50,000, which a priest paid off. They are all rumored to be part of the Tren de Aragua gang.
It's mind-boggling that anyone would want to try to release this dangerous individual. He was arrested multiple times.
How can a migrant with no steady source of income and living in a shelter afford such an amount of money? This is where it gets worse. Andres Gomez Isquiel, who was taken into custody as one of the individuals involved in the attack on 2 police officers, was arrested again. He faced charges of second-degree assault on a police officer and obstructing governmental administration, which was captured on camera and was released without bail. It's not up to a month after being taken into custody. Andres Gomez Isquiel found himself in trouble once more when he was apprehended for reportedly shoplifting and assaulting a loss prevention worker at Macy's in Queens. He was involved in a theft with others, taking clothing valued at $600 from the store, and he even physically attacked the employee who attempted to intervene. The employee sustained minor injuries as a result of the altercation. Gomez Isquiel now faces charges of robbery and petty larceny. Jesus Alejandro Rivas Figueroa, a 15-year-old boy, was apprehended for shoplifting at a sporting store in Times Square. Alongside 2 other suspects, he was caught by a vigilant loss prevention officer. The officer requested a receipt from the boys after noticing them holding a bag filled with clothes and sneakers. When they couldn't provide one, he took back the stolen bag and attempted to question them further. Unexpectedly, Rivas Figueroa, the teenager dressed in all white, pulled out a .45 caliber handgun and fired shots at the officer and the surrounding crowd. Fortunately, the officer narrowly escaped being hit, but unfortunately, a 37-year-old Brazilian tourist waiting in line to purchase sneakers was struck in the knee and sustained injuries. The incident caused panic and chaos as people within the store began running and hiding.
The security guard confronted them, prompting this. Watch as the teen in white walks away, then suddenly turns around, points a .45 caliber gun, and fires around.
At 47th Street and 7th Avenue, NYPD patrol officers spotted two of the teenagers who had fled from the sporting shop. At that moment, one of the individuals was apprehended by the officers. Figueroa, on the other hand, managed to escape the police at 6th Avenue. However, before getting away, he dangerously fired shots at the pursuing officer. This was a highly risky situation as the area was densely populated, and any of those bullets could have tragically harmed an innocent civilian. Due to the presence of numerous people, the police officer refrained from firing back at the 15-year-old, despite having drawn his gun.
As the suspect goes through the cut between the buildings, he's running, he takes his gun out under his armpit, he fires again at our officer.
He sought refuge in a subway station before heading back to his residence, where he and his mother started gathering their things to escape the city. He was apprehended while hiding in a closet at a residence in Yonkers, New York, within a day. The police were determined to spare no expense in apprehending him, as a citywide manhunt was launched following his escape at the subway station. To encourage people to come forward with information about his whereabouts, a reward of $1,000 was offered. Rivas Figueroa arrived in New York City in September of last year, and his most recent known location was the Stratford Hotel on West 70th Street, where he stayed with his mother. How is it possible that a guy without no housing and no job has a gun? Unfortunately, this is not Rivas Figueroa's first offense in the Big Apple. He is suspected of being involved in an armed robbery in the Bronx on January 27th, as well as an incident on January 25th, where shots were fired in a park on 45th Street. The NYPD...
My thing is, if you're escaping from things over there in your country, why are you gonna bring the same stuff you escaping over here? And if that's the case, you should have stayed where you was and just stole from your own people on your own, on your own soil. Why are you gonna come over here, do the same thing, and you basically finna just go to jail? And I mean, you're gonna have free housing there. I mean, that's about it. But then, ain't you gonna go back to where you come from? So, why not try to do it the right way? And then again, you could have been trying to do it the right way. It is hard over here. It is very hard. And so, these are young kids doing these types of things. I understand, their moms are probably, they probably trying to find jobs and stuff like that, because jobs are hard to find. Trust, I know. I understand the struggle, but come on. Don't do it. It's not worth it. I promise you it's not. It's not worth all of this. You're going to be in jail. And then, you might have food, but it ain't going to be nothing you want. You probably, I guess you would rather probably have that than nothing at all. I guess that's one of the reasons why y'all come over here, just so y'all can go to jail, so y'all can get the free housing. But then y'all leave the real criminals on the street. Interesting.
Characterized Rivas Figueroa as a dangerous individual. Only civilians, but also police officers. And such reckless and life-threatening behavior was not going to be tolerated. Figueroa was charged as an adult, even though he is only 15. And is also rumored to be part of the Tren de Aragua gang.
And arrested for a student's murder on UGA's campus. I'm Blair Miller.
And I'm Sean Gables. Right now, we are waiting for Jose Ibarra's mugshot, as well as his first court appearance. Cops say he did not know the victim.
The illegal migrant apprehended for the murder of a Georgia nursing student entered Texas from the border on September 8, 2022, and was transferred to a processing center. However, He was promptly released without being placed on a bus to New York City, where he was subsequently apprehended and released once more. 26-year-old Ibarra was juggling jobs at DoorDash, Uber Eats, and a nearby restaurant when he got arrested in August. The reason? Endangering a child's welfare. He was caught in Queens riding a gas-powered moped with Franco's son on the back, without any safety gear for the child. Diego crossed the U.S. border illegally via Eagle Pass, Texas, in April 2023. Although he was initially arrested, he was eventually put on patrol duty. Pictures taken during his arrest revealed tattoos on his neck linked to a notorious Tren de Aragua gang. Additional photos depicted him posing with firearms. Laken Riley, a University of Georgia tragically lost on Thursday when her body was discovered in a wooded area of the UGA campus.
Golly,
the suspect,
so
Ibarra,
sad.
was taken into custody the following day and is facing multiple charges, including malice and aggravated battery, kidnapping, and concealing the death of another. His brother was also arrested for possessing a fake green card. Both are rumored to be a part of the Tren de Aragua gang. In 2023, more than 334,000 Venezuelans crossed the U.S.-Mexico border, making them the second largest group after Mexicans. Unfortunately, some gangsters have taken advantage of this migration wave by hiding among legitimate asylum seekers. Border Patrol has detained at least 41 members of the Tren de Aragua gang who were attempting to cross the border between October 2022 and September 2023. The gang members in Texas have become so bold that they are now demanding payment from other Venezuelans to use the bathrooms at the border.
Golly.
Moreover, there are worries that El Tren de Aragua is actively seeking recruits in the shelters of the city.
Probably so.
During escalating violence in the United States, a special agent in charge of the El Paso division in Texas by the name of Morales cautions that MS-13 and other perilous gangs may come together in a temporary alliance.
They are infiltrating cities in the United States and maybe forming alliances with gangs that are already established here.
Morales elaborated that despite the usual separation between gangs, the increasing
Okay,
strength
he
of
over
the
there
Tren de
just
Aragua is a
looking.
cause for concern. She said, "Currently, we are collaborating with our local law enforcement allies and exchanging information to prevent the expansion of the Tren de Aragua." According to Immigration and Customs Enforcement, IC, individuals belonging to these two criminal organizations have been identified in various cities across the United States, including Baltimore, Philadelphia, Minneapolis, and Chicago.
I mean, like, I understand trying to leave a place to make it better for you and your family, but you don't have to come over here and make things worse over here. I mean, it's already hard as it is for the people that's already over here. It's already hard for the Americans that's over here. So, I mean, like, try to come the right way if you're trying to escape. And I understand them processing things, they are too extremely long. I mean, it's months before you can even know if you even get approved to even become a citizen. So I understand. Just try to do things the right way so you won't get, escorted back or whatever. So, I mean, cause I get, man, life hard. I get it. But do the things the right way. I mean, it's sad. And I hate that they're coming over here killing innocent people. Like, you ain't got to do all that. You don't have to do that to make your... I know it's hard, but you don't have to do that. Things like that. Because you're still not getting anywhere. Only place you're going to be is in jail. And you're going to be deported. I mean, that's it. I mean, but you guys, you tell me what y'all think about the video, and I will catch y'all in the next one. Bye, you guys.